Hello and welcome to another video review. This is Team Fortress Classic for PC. This was originally a mod for the original Half-Life, and it's actually a remake of the original Team Fortress mod for Quake 3. And eventually it got turned into a retail game when Valve acquired the team, and eventually released it on Steam in 2003 as a retail game. Before then it was actually a free add-on for Half-Life. But it's now a standalone game. And yes, the team did go on to make Team Fortress 2, which has a lot of the same elements from the original Team Fortress, but some things were removed. Like, I believe there is no more football mode or VIP mode in Team Fortress 2. I believe it's only the capture the flag and the objective kind of thing. And Team Fortress Classic isn't really silly. It's not cartoony. It's kind of more of a realistic thing. At least more realistic than Team Fortress 2, obviously. I mean, it's still pretty fantastical, but it's still got the same style of gameplay. It's still got about the same visuals as Half-Life, so there's really nothing to really say about that. The sound design is also like the older Gold Source games. It does its job, and that's about it. None of the sounds are particularly memorable or beefy or any of that. They just do their job, and that's about it. But where this thing really comes into its own are the gameplay mechanics, because there really isn't any story. But it's a multiplayer-only game, and it revolves around two teams, the red and the blue team, just fighting it out over various objectives. I mean, you got capture the flag, football, VIP, and there's also variations of those modes depending on which map you're playing. And what ends up happening is that if you're playing, say, VIP mode, where you get one team that's actually the VIP's bodyguards, and also one team that's a group of assassins, and then, of course, the VIP is just by himself. And what ends up happening is the VIP needs to be escorted to a certain point on the map while the assassins try to take him out. That mode was removed from Team Fortress 2, even though it was referenced in the Meet the Sniper trailer. At the beginning of that trailer, he sits there and he hits a bobblehead and he goes, boom, headshot. And that's actually the VIP that he's flicking. So, they did reference it, but they never really put it in there. They also have territorial control modes, where it's basically King of the Hill kind of mode, domination, that kind of thing. Obviously, capture the flag. The football mode, basically, each team has to get a single ball and then move it to a capture point in the enemy base. And so, that's how that works. And like Team Fortress 2, there are 9 classes available. And each one has its own unique purposes. And really, if you play as a certain class, you better expect to fulfill that role. But if you're playing as the VIP, you're kind of screwed because you only have 50 health and no weapons and no armor. I mean, you have an umbrella and that's it, so you're kind of screwed. But each class has its own thing. I mean, they're all pretty much the same as they were in Team Fortress 2. Only in Team Fortress 2, I think they expanded a little bit more on them. And in general, it does play pretty similarly to Team Fortress 2. And that's its problem. I've never liked this style of gameplay. I mean, I don't mind the classic warfare. I don't mind the game modes. What I don't like is that the game itself just doesn't feel balanced. It's got this major problem of it has a very high learning curve. And so if you're jumping into it now, like I did, I mean, I didn't play this back in the day. I jumped into it fairly recently. You know, when I actually got Team Fortress Classic on Steam, I finally jumped into it. And if you're like me and just jumping into it and never having played it before, then you're screwed. I mean, you have absolutely no ability to defend yourself whatsoever, because everybody else has been playing it for years and years, and they know exactly how their class operates. They know all of the ins and outs of the maps, everything. So you're just going to get annihilated. It's really not a game that's accessible to new players. And that's its major downfall. I mean, it's got some things that are kind of cool in it. Like, I like the game mode ideas. In general, the map designs are pretty well done. But the problem with the game is that you just can't get into it anymore without getting your ass kicked, basically. I mean, at least with, say, Counter-Strike, it's balanced enough that you can jump into it and do fairly decently. I mean, if you have first-person shooter experience, then you're probably going to do fine. I mean, you'll probably still get annihilated quite a bit early on, but in general, you can just go in and have fun and not really worry about getting your ass handed to you all the time in Counter-Strike. And same with Day of Defeat. But in Team Fortress Classic, if you haven't been playing this for years, you're pretty much screwed. So that's my main problem with it. It is not remotely accessible to new players. So overall, I can't really recommend it at all. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there who still love this game and still play it, but I just can't recommend it. I don't like it. So you can take that for what it is. I mean, if you don't like my opinion on that, then fine. I mean, it's just, that's how I roll. I just don't like this game. So there you go, folks. If you're interested in it and you actually got Half-Life on Steam, you probably have Team Fortress Classic. So you might as well at least try it out. And of course, there's Team Fortress 2 for those of you who don't have Half-Life at all. Team Fortress 2 is free to play now. So you can just jump into that and see what it's kind of like. It doesn't have all the same game modes, doesn't have the same styling, all that. But it still gives you a fairly good idea of what the gameplay is like. Anyway, they did rebalance things in the Team Fortress 2, but anyway. That's Team Fortress Classic. I don't really like it. I can't recommend it, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would very much disagree with me.